My name's Tommy Greer. I'm the CEO of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and we've called you all here today for a really exciting announcement for the franchise, and that is that international tennis superstar Nick Kyrgios will be joining the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix ownership team. Since emerging from the pandemic as a franchise, we've experienced some really exciting growth across multiple sectors, including sponsorship, membership, TV audiences and attendances. That being said, we're still a franchise in our infancy, and we're really looking forward to working with Nick and his team and leveraging his incredible platform and popularity to further the successes of recent times. With that being said, I'd like to formally welcome Nick to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the ownership group.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, obviously for me this is a big opportunity as well. My good friend Romy's, obviously, a big part of it, and everyone knows my basketball roots. So to be, a part of the NBL, and I think there's been so much growth over the last, as you said, the last 2 years. I'm pretty much tuning in all the time. So, it's a massive move for me personally in my career, and I'm just super excited to jump on board and do anything I can to help grow, the team and just join its success really. So yeah, it's a massive pleasure for me to be part of it. So appreciate it. Thanks.
Nick, what makes you a good fit for the Phoenix?
Look, Mitch Creek's making me, he's giving me the feels every time I watch him play. But as I said, I feel like I've got some great communications and relationships within that team already. So, I was actually, watching the Sydney Kings a bit. I'm living up there now, but this is the team at heart now. So I'm going to be backing them, till the hills come home.
How involved can we expect you to be, Nick?
Well, yeah, look, I'm one of the tennis players that doesn't travel as often, and I'm actually looking forward to being in Australia a bit more. So whenever they need, my help or support, I'm going to be willing out to do as much as I can. I feel like I pride myself in any sort of company or team I'm working with. I pride myself in giving my time and being there and being quite hands-on. So.
Is this part of your job post-tennis career, being an entrepreneur perhaps?
Definitely. I've got a lot of things happening at the moment, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, to be honest, happening. But this is, my tennis career is not going to last forever, and I've been on tour now for 9-10 years, and I feel like I'm kind of building that platform to have these experiences and relationships. So I've got to use it while I can.
Is it something you've been thinking about?
Was it you who approached the Phoenix, or vice versa?
Well, it just kind of worked out. It was I think it was kind of pretty organic. It wasn't really one or the other. It was like both had mutual interest. Obviously, I had a great year on the court last year, and obviously with my presence, globally on social media, but in Australia, I think it was just a great fit for both parties. So.
Nick, how's the leg?
Yeah, my knee's feeling good. My ankle's feeling good. My body's feeling relatively pretty good. I don't think anyone's feeling 100%. Obviously, with a couple of people pulling out already and a couple of people in doubt, it's normal around this time of the year for everyone to be battling with some injuries. But that's all good.
I feel like it can stand up, to go deep into the tournament.
Well, I am one of the best players in the world, so I'm definitely going to go into the Australian Open and any tournament with confidence. I feel like I've proven that I can go deep in a Grand Slam, and with the support of the Phoenix and my team and everyone around, and hopefully Australia on my back, it's going to be a good couple of weeks.
Novak's obviously had his own hamstring issue and he didn't obviously finish yesterday's session. Is there any doubt about tomorrow night, or that's 100% going?
Look, I haven't heard anything else. But with Novak, he's not a player that's short of tennis. He's played a lot of tennis over his career, so he knows how his body needs to be feeling moving forward. But I wouldn't have any doubt. I wouldn't be saying Novak. I still think he's a clear favourite. So.
What are you hoping to get out of that match tomorrow?
I feel like just for the fans, to remind everyone that Novak is the best that we've got, and just have some fun. We've raised a lot of money there for charity as well, and I think anyone who thinks having a match like this is bad before a tournament, I think whenever you can get two of the best players in the world playing in front of fans, for cheap tickets that people may not be able to afford later on the week if we do, happen to come across each other. So I think it gives a people opportunity to come see and just watch tennis. Obviously, during the pandemic, people weren't even able to go outside. So I think now just to have any sort of event like this is a bonus for the people. Just to see where our bodies are at as well. I think it's just a good preparation. People saying like, oh, the Australia's bending over for this practice match. I could have been playing a practice match anywhere. So I think it's just a bonus that we're able to do it in this beautiful stadium.
Nick, Andy spoke yesterday about the fact that the crowd here really can boost your tennis. He's obviously won Wimbledon. He says he's giving you a chance. How do you see the crowd and how they can help you over the next couple of weeks here?
Well, winning solves everything. Australia just loves to get behind a winner. Hopefully I can just take it step by step. I'm not looking forward, in the draw at all. I know that there's so many capable players who are able to deal damage this tournament. So, I've got 4 more days before the tournament starts, and I'm just going to enjoy that. I'm just going to embrace it. I'm going to, you know, it's a bit different this time around for me, you know, being one of the favourites. You know, usually, you know, I'm kind of like a dark horse type thing, but now obviously after the year I've had one of the favourites approaching, so it's kind of new for me as well. Like, this is the first time I've genuinely gone into a slam feeling like I'm one of the guys that can really, you know, take the trophy and knock on the door. So I don't know what I'm going to be feeling when I get out there. You know, usually I've got nothing to lose type thing and just putting on a show, but I've got to try and really find that balance the next 2 weeks.
How do you balance it out between the pressure and also enjoying the Open at home?
Very hard. Obviously, the only person that's been able to do it in Australia in the last decade has been Ash Barty. You know, to be able to, you know, ride the pressure of being at home and getting it done. She's the only person that's been able to do it. You know, me and Thanasi did it last year in the doubles, but doesn't even equate to the singles court. So, you know, we're still trying to find those answers. You know, it's so much fun being out here, embracing it and getting all the support. But you got to, at the end of the day, you got to have a W. So, you know, I'm going to figure that out. Hopefully.
Nick, how do you reckon your game's developed over the past 12 months?
I've always been pretty good. You know, I was #1 junior in the world, and you know, I kind of transitioned pretty early. But I just feel like I was just more consistent. That was the main thing, just being able to put it in, week out, the dedication and practice sessions, just everything, just ticking all the boxes. So hopefully just the consistency this year stays there.
Just on
touching on the
basketball,
pressure.
just one of basketball. Are you still playing a little bit off court? Would you ever, you know, consider trying to
Definitely,
get out there?
definitely. I will do anything for the team. I'd get out there, rebound, play with them. If my body's, you know, up to it, I'll get out there as much as I can, for sure, 100%.
Just touching on that pressure again, have you developed some strategies for coping with it? Like what sort of things are you doing to handle that?
Well, I just try and internalise it, and you know, my team, you know, I just try and hang out with them as much as I can. I don't think any other tennis player, especially in Australia, is under as much media scrutiny as I am. It's a day-to-day thing. It's a day-to-day battle that, you know, I just have to, you know, embrace and kind of use it as a privilege, I guess, you know. But it's hard. You know, as I said, no male players won a slam in Australia for a long time. So hopefully, you know, we all can find a way how to deal with it.
You talked about how, you know, your career isn't going to last forever, and the way this tournament is stacking up, possibly injuries for other guys, the way you're playing in best form of your career, does it feel like it's now or never? This is the perfect storm for your team to finally win an Australian Open?
Look, I'm not going to put that much pressure on myself. You know, that question there's a lot. I'm just going to go out there, have fun, and you know, whatever happens, happens. I know that I'm able to go to the final of a Grand Slam, so I'm not even going to think about winning it, or, you know, I'm just going to try and just do the right things day by day, and hopefully if I tick all the boxes, I've got a pretty good chance to win matches. So, you know, 14 days to win one of these things is not easy, so I just got to take it day by day. But yeah, obviously I'm capable, but there's so many other people in the draw that are capable as well. So
The Netflix doco was quite personal for you. Was it a relief for that to come out, and how is your mental health at the moment? Are you feeling good?
yeah, I feel good. You know, I'm dealing with a lot of things day to day, but the Netflix documentary, I think, wasn't only for me. I think it's in desperate need for the tennis world to get put on the map globally again. Obviously, when, you know, Novak and Nadal go as well, as long as Roger. You know, Roger's gone, and this Netflix is kind of the, you know, the last sort of hope that tennis is going to, you know, be interesting globally on the map for a long time. You know, we've got a lot of young personalities. Alcaraz is already, you know, the vigors of the tennis tour. You got our #1 player in the world can't even play because he's injured because of how grueling the schedule is. So we need to, well, hopefully this documentary for everyone involved with tennis is big.
Nick, have you seen the episodes of yourself? Have you seen your episodes?
I previewed it, yeah.
What do you think of how you feel comfortable the way you come across and the way
yeah, look, I think it's a great, you know, in a non-biased way for non-tennis fans out there. It's really exciting, and I think they go through the rules and they kind of explain how tennis works in the first episode. It's not so deep into the origins of my life as yet, but it will obviously get into that. But I think the first episode is pretty exciting, and I think it will keep, you know, people interested for sure.
Just to clarify with Phoenix, your investment, have you made a financial investment?
Yeah.
Can you say how much?
Nah.
Are we talking substantial? I mean, you know, ballpark figures, or what we're talking percentage-wise?
Yeah, it's confidential. Yeah.
Just on crowds and Novak, obviously we've had news this week that, you know, punters will be asked to leave the tournament if they're sort of going over the top with their reception of Novak. You're someone who obviously really embraces crowds. What's your take on sort of telling fans what they can and can't do, and I guess what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, I think from a supporting point of view, I know that people are always going to, you know, have the people they hate on court and people they love. You know, I'm one of those players that deals with it everywhere. I got people screaming out inappropriate things, and I got obviously fans that love the kind of roller coaster ride. But I would just say, like, you know, Novak's here, and and you know he hasn't made any rules. You know he's kind of abided by them for the last 2 years with whatever has been dealt his way, and he's here, and all he wants to do is just put on a show for obviously he's chasing things that athletes rarely are able to chase. He's one of the greatest athletes of all time, not just in the tennis court. So he's here to put on a show for Melbourne itself. So as long as the fans know that he's not just doing it for himself, he's going to come out here even tomorrow night. And I think as fans we should be appreciating that rather than obviously I know that there's going to be fans that are not going to want him to win, but I think they can't cross that line as fans. You guys have paid money to watch a guy play. It's a bit contradictory if you're going to go there and be a clown about it. But I think you got to respect him a little bit at the end of the day, because he's one of the best to ever do it. But look, I know there's going to be fans that are going to cross the line anyway, but that's just how it is.
You and Thanasi definitely defending your title?
Yeah, I think we're entered in the tournament. He's doing some great things down in Adelaide this week. We all know how capable he is. But yeah, I'm just super excited to just be here again and just soak it all in.
Is that something that might need to go by the wayside if you are going deep into the tournament in the singles?
Definitely. I think both from both parties. If he's going deep as well, which he's more than capable of doing, I think that we're going to have to, we're singles players at hearts. And, the doubles Grand Slam last year was just a flash in the pan how we were able to do that. So, look, we haven't had one conversation about doubles yet, about how we're going to approach it or anything. We're just going to, go in it, have some fun, and if we play, we play. If we don't, we don't.
We saw you fall down at the end of that practice match. Is that the celebration we'd expect if you win the title?
I just do that. I'm a bit of a clown sometimes. I'm just a kid at heart. I think it's just insane that I was in Canberra as a young kid, play on concrete courts, and then able to just be a favourite at Australian Open. It's pretty special. So I just try and embrace every moment when I'm out here now. So.
Nick, you mentioned Ash Barty. You mentioned Ash Barty. Do you take inspiration from what she did there 12 months ago?
I mean, I think every Aussie that's, whether it's inspiration or just, I saw it happen. I was waiting in the corridors and, I was just watching her, kind of win the event. And then she walked through the hallways and just, soaked it up with her team. And I think, I don't wish it was me or take inspiration from her. I just was almost just watching the relief. I could feel the relief of her shoulders, and that's special. I think someone that's worked very hard and had so much expectation and finally got over the line in Australia. I think I was just smiling and just happy for her. I'm not a jealous person saying I wish that was me, but it was just special to see how she embraced her family and everyone that's just been on the journey with her. So hopefully one day any Australian, any men's, I'd be happy for them to win the event. But as I said, none of us are as dominant as Ash Barty. She was just winning, matches for fun out there. Barely losing games. So I don't know if it's going to be that easy for us.